Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to learn Next.js from very basic, and we'll be using an existing Next.js repository and try to learn all the new concepts which can help us build Next.js based applications. So first we will be discussing regarding what are the basics, and we'll be looking at a basic introduction, and then we'll be building the dashboard application. So you can see that our course objective is to create or learn using this Acme app. This is basically an app which is being provided by Next.js. This financial dashboard will be having a public homepage and then a login page, a auth protected dashboard is, and then it will be having some invoice management in a form of like add, delete, and then we will be integrating a database as well. So what you will be able to learn post this, like after watching this the series of this video, what you are going to learn, basically you will be able to learn a Next.js application, implement authentication and authorization, as well as working with database and server sections, and the best practices for performance and accessibility. Also we'll be learning like how we can style the Next.js based application. So what is the difference between a CSS module using a global CSS, and we'll be also be using or touch basing tailwind CSS, and how we can do component level styling without affecting or changing other components. Then we'll be looking into the optimization things which Next.js is providing. Like HTML do have multiple HTML tags like image and link, but what HTML provide on top of that and provide us for image optimization, font optimization, or link prefetching, which is a different concept we'll be discussing in this video or upcoming videos. They'll be discussing about the routing. We'll be discussing why Next.js is being different from React, and what's the difference in the usage, specifically from a routing perspective. Basically file based or file system routing we'll be discussing. Then we'll be discussing pages and layouts and nested routes and the dynamic routes. Data fetching, as we have discussed that we are going to implement and integrate a database, so we'll be setting up a Postgres database on Vercel. Vercel is a online cloud platform where we can easily host different applications. So we'll be using a Vercel hosted Postgres database, and we will implement data fetching, and then we'll be using streaming and suspense as well. We will see how effective search using URL search parameter can be in this Next.js series, and how we can use pagination instead of fetching all the data. And then we'll be going with the concept of mutating data. So we'll be looking at how the data updates can be handled, and we'll be looking at the React server actions and cache validation strategies. Then we will look into the error handling using like application errors 404 not found, how we can gracefully fall back. And form validations, we'll be looking into form validations where like server side form validations and how we can improve accessibility. In addition to that, we'll be looking into authentication using a nextauth.js library, and how we can create protected routes. Then we will also see how Next.js effectively help us in SEO best practices, and what sort of meta data API could have been used. So while learning this app, I'll try my best to keep it as simple, and there should be no prerequisite to an extent, but at least you should know a bit of a JavaScript or a bit of a React sentence, and if you know some like server component related thing, so that would be good. But in case if you are not aware, so you can start learning along with me, and if there is something I need to explain, I will surely explain that. So without further ado, now let's move further. So these are the things which we have discussed. One thing we'll be like talking about, let me just We'll be using VS Code to create our application, so you can use that. One more thing I like to highlight over here, in current days, you might have seen there is a very influx of AI based or AI assisted coding, where there are like specific tools like cursor or anti-gravity, which helps you create these type of applications even in Next.js or any other languages very quickly. Within few minutes you just give a prompt and they are going to create it for you. But the underlying concepts and the underlying fundamentals are very essential for all of us to learn. So I can quickly go to any of such tool, but and ask them to create a Next.js application. But unless and until I myself know the basics and the dynamics of this Next.js application, I won't be able to modify or comprehend or understand each and everything. So this is the reason we are going through this each and every minute detail. So let's start with this. Uh, I have VS Code open with me. One thing which I might have already done, but I'm doing it for you. Like, we need to install pnpm. So I'm going to use npm install dash g p npm. One more thing prior to this, I anticipate that you have Node.js installed at your system, and when you install Node.js itself install npm, and npm is a node package manager if you haven't known that. But what's the reason of using this pnpm instead of using npm? So one thing, PNP is a package manager which is comparatively more efficient, and it takes very less space in a sense, because what actually happens, all the node modules or the modules that have been downloaded, so it's being downloaded once on your system, and it's managed it in a global sense. So this is the reason it's not just in a disk efficient, it really help you efficiently or quickly install the packages. So with this being done, let me just try to install it, but I think I do have it, so it won't allow me. Let's see how it happens. So now I'm going to create the application. Basically I have already installed the npm. Now using npx, this is again a command line utility, you can say, that is that we are going to use to, let me just clear it up so you can see, and let me just move it up. Let me type it here. So npx, and then we are going to use the command create dash next dash app at latest. These are the things nowadays you don't have to type in, but at least you should know once that these do exist, so you can have your like application easily running and working. So let me just use that Next.js, and then I'm going to call this Next.js dash dashboard dash dash example, and we are going to use it from a GitHub repository. So let me just pull the URL for the GitHub repository. So you can see there is a sample application being created by Versal, and I'm going to use this URL. So let me just copy this and let me just paste it here. So instead of typing, I'm going to paste it here, and I'm using double quotes. And one more thing which we are going to tell this npx to use pnpm instead of npm. So let me just use this. I have done one thing wrong. I should, this is supposed to be with this. If we need to refer to this, so this should be like double dash, uh, not a space between this. So let's see. Now it's downloading, creating a new template JS app and downloading the file from repo. Because okay, so you can see that it have been installed, and let me just try opening it. not this. Let me just locate the, so let me open the folder, and so select this folder. So now you can see within the app there are so many files because it have properly downloaded it from the repository instead of creating a new app. So with this being here, now let's just quickly explore the project rather than just going and typing or developing something. So you can see what we have done. We have installed the pnpm, and then we have used npx to create a next.js app. Now we are moving to the like exploring this project. So let's see, first we have a app folder within our next.js app. The app folder is the one which do or resides each and everything. So within this app folder you can see the routes, the components, and logic for all your application. Then we have a lib folder. Basically this lib folder itself is, you can think of, it's a library where functions are used in such a way that you can think like definitions, utilities, and data which is going to be pulled can be referenced from here. Then we have a UI folder. You can think of this folder as that it do have all the UI components for our app, like such as cards, tables, and forms. So it do have all the UI components. So, and what else? So we have like placeholder data we can have over here. Let me just open this. So you can see instead of having any API, we have these, not this one, no, sorry, this one. You can see we have a placeholder data. So currently this application is not connected with database, but to show some data on front end we do need certain data. So this basically is getting treated as a table. You can see a customer table, a user table, and this and that. So each and everything is there. What else we have? Let's just see. Let me just quickly see the invoice. Okay, even you can see the invoices are there. So all the related data which we need to showcase and pull in our app is readily available from here, and we do not need to like connect to the database as of yet. So let me just try running is this. So let me just quickly show you what we have with us right now. Let me just run. Again we are going to use pnpm, and then we need to use pnpm dev. I think first we need to use pnpm install because certain modules need to be pulled. So let's just use pnpm install. So it says it will remove the node modules. The reason is that it's a previously downloaded node modules, so it's going to refresh and proceed. Let's proceed with it. It's going to recreate it, and let's see what is going to happen. So let's just try browsing this. So you can see without styling there's a page being rendered, and it is from the repository which we have downloaded, so it's very default. So I'll be keeping this video till here, and we'll be moving further and try creating certain things and doing one by one which we have discussed in our slides. So till here, hopefully at least you are able to pull this repo and able to see this, and then we can proceed further in the next video. Thanks for watching. If you think that you want to continue the learning next.js or somewhat similar videos, don't forget to subscribe and like. Thank you for watching. Bye.